And she said, nope, the desks are full. So I wound up working from my fancy little launch pad at the house. So I hope everyone's well. I want to thank all of y'all who did reach out about my young friend's funeral. I gotta say, there were a lot of the guys from the different companies that all worked together. The young guys were out there. It was nice to see the family get so much support. They basically filled that little church up. There are probably good 250 people there. Like it was getting hot. Hey KP. Hey Linus. Hey Joe. Hey Coffee. What's going on? Um, so it was nice that the family was out there. So I come to find out the young man had had a wreck a few months ago. And aside from being an epic drinker, which we all knew he was because he was mischievous, God bless this stretch of road, they need to repave. He actually hit his head on the side window during the wreck. And he went and got checked, and they diagnosed him with a mild concussion. And he was a football kid, so he's like, I'm fine. And he never went back for a follow-up. And apparently some of the boys were saying he'd been like losing balance at work. There've been little signs like he'll talk and then he'll lose his train of thought, but very unexpectedly. And I do that all the time, but I'm older and also, I have 20 different things running through my head. He'd be like talking about something specific and kind of pull a Mitch McConnell and then come back on. And the guys are like, you got to get checked. So they don't know if he overdid it one night and, maybe between the partying, he made had too much, maybe fell down, hit his head again. They don't know if it's a delayed effect from the car wreck. But folks, I'm going to start off with this one. If you get a head injury, y'all need to get it checked. Hey, Daryl and Johnny and whoever else there, a few other folks snuck in here on me. Go get it checked. Don't play around with that. Because it can show itself up quite a while later. Hey, prepping artist. Woo, yeah, it's getting hot. It is. We're expected to be 105 again today, so it's going to be ugly out here. I went and mowed the lawn yesterday because I forgot to do it this last weekend, and the HOA was on my ass. And it was 104, so I mowed the front, went inside for half an hour. Then I moved the mower to the back, mowed the back real quick, went inside for half an hour. I was just taking my time. I didn't kill myself. 92 here. Feels like 137. It says 79 on my truck, but I don't believe that. I think that's a lie. I think it's something else because it feels hotter. But we're also getting this north breeze where I am, so that may be better. So it may be making it better. Hey, Mad Shad. So I got I saw a post, and I want to give credit to, I believe it was Catskill Truth Seeker. Some of you guys know her as Catskill Prepping and Survival. I believe that was her old name, and she changed it to Catskill Truth Seeker. I had her on my channel with my mother Spark about a month ago. And she and I and Christy and Trent, there's a group of us, we're always trading info. Angry Prepper and Hudson Valley are also part of that. And she posted that they're pulling the drilling leases in the Arctic in Alaska to preserve the wildlife refuge, to protect the environment. But I know for a fact, because I've asked people recently, the New Mexico, Oklahoma permits are delayed. Now, Texas is a bit different because Texas, most of the gas and oil leases, because Texas was a republic before it became part of the US of A, most of our oil and gas leases are been drinking too much of that, sweating bullets. And Jim, that'll make you pee out if you have too much coffee. I get in vodka, I have to courage. There you go. So Texas is a bit of a different beast. Louisiana is kind of a mix, but New Mexico and Oklahoma have a lot of federal land drilling. And we also have the big wind and solar farms in those states as well, especially Texas and Oklahoma. And they're not allowing more permits. So it's not like they're saying, "Oh, we're gonna protect the Alaska Preserve." All right, fair enough. But we're gonna shut down these 8,000 permits here, but we're gonna release 8,000 more permits somewhere else to even us out. They're not doing that. Everything's backlogged. It's taking too long, and some people don't know what a traffic circle does. Good Lord. Anyway, man, they got the dummies driving out this week, y'all. I've clocked 1,600 miles since this time last week. And I will tell you right now, I'm dog tired, and I have witnessed the most dumbass drivers. Honestly, I should get a dash cam just to post this shit on shorts on my videos, so y'all could see the ignorance. Somebody tried to cut off an 18-wheeler and hit it in like one of those Kia, the little boxes, and it ricocheted. That little car ricocheted like a ping pong ball, like it didn't even phase the semi. The semi, of course, woo, that was a big bump. A semi pulled over, about a half mile down the road because he can't stop on a dime. Yeah, no kidding. I do need distractions. They provide entertainment unless they're about to hit me, like happened in that police pursuit. That I could have done without. That scared the shit out of me. It was a great safety topic at work. But anyway, as I was saying, they're cutting back on the drilling leases in Alaska, which is fine. They're trying to preserve something, but they're not releasing them elsewhere. Another option the government could have is to increase the regulatory and say, okay, if you're going to drill here because it's a sensitive environment, you must do the following checklist, which would be greater than your typical drilling lease, to protect the environment and hold the companies liable, right? Because I promise you, if you hold the company liable, they're going to do it the right way. They're not going to take shortcuts because they know they're going to get sued. But if you cut drilling in certain areas and you don't increase it somewhere else, they load up a car with people and claim neck and back injuries. I'll tell you what, man, that little car was playing with death. Okay, you fill up a minivan and you get in front of like a mail truck, that's one thing, or a pickup truck. You get in front of a semi going 70, they may not be alive to make a claim. They'll all be dead all across the road and whatnot. But yeah, for real, that's a terrible way to make money if you're pulling in front of a semi. But I've seen that. But in any case, it's concerning where you have a government we're already in an inflationary environment. They're increasing the interest rates supposedly to reduce the inflation, but now let's cut back on oil and gas. But we don't have enough of a viable substitute. There are only so many places in America you can put a solar farm that will actually produce sufficient power, right? I can't put a solar field in Seattle because it's cloudy half the time and you're not going to get energy out of that. It has to be in a place that has high sun, high winds, and there are very limited places where that can be done. And so we're cutting back on energy, but we're thinking out a viable alternative. And when that happens, what you wind up with is Trent has a B. Don't introduce truth, sir. Catch the replay. I waited 2 weeks for this appointment. Wait, what? All right, I lost. If you believe that, Trent has beachfront property for sale cheap. Oh, no. You can't. There are only so many places you can put. And I mean, I actually listened to Alex Epstein. He did a speech for the industry. The wind farms, the solar farms, you can only places to, of course, it's all about, there are only so many places you can put them where you get a viable base load. And, but supposedly they're trying to reduce inflation, supposedly, by increasing interest rate, which is basically indirect taxing, right? They're increasing the interest rate, so everything costs us more. So it forces us to spend less, but our taxes aren't going down with it, right? Now we're going to cut back on energy. Okay, I lost y'all in that chat. But hey Dan, hey Jim, and anyone I missed, sorry, I had glare while I was driving. So now I'm hearing analysts say, look, we thought the market would flatten out going into next year. We thought there would be an increase in oil and gas, which would affect gasoline, propane, butane, methane, et cetera, but they were expecting 5 to 10%. So if we're at 75 to 80 bucks a barrel now, maybe 88, it'd be a little bit of pain at the pump. Well, Joe, exactly. If they decrease large amounts of drilling leases while we're in an inflationary environment, that's just going to increase the cost of all the goods. That's going to create more inflation. So I'm like, and the noise from them. Wait, well, danger to wildlife. I lost. That sounds like less than an inch. Yeah. Windmill parts are not recycled, just buried. Johnny Preps, actually, I think Catskill posted another, it was a snippet of the wind farms garbage, like all the damaged and disposed of wind farm turbines, and it's actually 2 hours from me here in Texas. So I might actually make a road trip Saturday or Friday or Sunday and go find that boneyard and do a video live from there, and watch how quick I'm gonna get kicked off something. I'll get kicked off for Instagram or some shit. But, oh yeah, no. I parked here to get in the shade, and here comes a meth head flapping around, so I don't really need that. Because he's going to have a talk to my German friend, Heckler and Koch, and that's not going to be a good one for him. Or he can walk into a phone post. That's new. The stuff I see, y'all, I really need cameras on my vehicle. Oh, he's pulling his pants off. Okay, I don't need to be in this parking lot anymore. Fuck that. Woo. All right. Well, that was interesting. God, y'all, I really need to put some of this shit on video. I'll probably get banned on YouTube, but yeah, he's just walking around flapping. There's some drugs that just make people quiet or mellow, but whatever the hell he's taking is not among those drugs at all. Oh, he just tripped on the curb. Homie is going to get hurt. All right, well, I guess he's feeling no pain. Now we're running across a 4-lane. It's not even the weekend yet. I know, book club, good Lord. But anyway, so folks, if that happens, going back to the energy thing, if that happens, if they start cutting leases as we're going into the end of year. Now, normally, naturally, he was windmilling too, he was. Typically, at the end of the year, the energy companies, the budgets start running out, right? Because you're at the end of the fiscal year. So if they don't have money, they tend to slow down and just kind of, thank you, prepping artist, go through their budget like at a steady pace. If they have money left over, they want to burn it so they don't have to put it back in the corporate budget, right? So they'll speed up. So it's always a wild card whether I'm going to get an increase or decrease in the energy market at the end of the year. But if you're deliberately pushing the leases down, the companies are going to be like, oh, wait a minute. They're going to shut us down and we're going to waste money, so we're going to put the money somewhere else. And that's going to be a problem for all of us. You're going to start seeing that the energy inflation, and that's going to hit diesel, oil, gas, all that stuff. That's going to hit your bills, and it's going to hit the products. Remember what happened, what was it, last year or year before? Energy took off and went to the 100 and something, and our gas was $4, $5, $6, $7 a gallon. if they do stuff like that, it's gonna happen again. And if it happens again, that's gonna really hurt because the inflation is so much worse this year. So these are the kind of things you want to. It's closed Thursday. Yeah, it is Thursday, Joe. Man, you screwed me up, Joe. I was like, good Lord, I just missed a meeting if it's Wednesday. I knew this was a short week, so I kind of cleared my calendar so I could do paperwork and not be bothered by people. But we need to. These are important things for us to pay attention to. We need to pay attention to this because that kind of tips you off. Like, okay, we're going to see additional inflation because of fuel costs. Or we're going to see additional personal costs, like Joe pointed out. Hey, I had my power bill was off the charts. And this is a great time for us to start thinking, what do I need to do? Do you want to stock more food? Do you want to, I don't know, if you have a safe means of storing gas, like you have a gas tank on your property, fill up on butane, whatever it is. When Alaska and Saudi Arabia announced oil drop by 1 million barrels through the winter. Okay, Johnny, if that's the case, then that's going to hurt all of us. Because that's quite a bit. I'm assuming 1 million barrels a day is what you're saying. Yeah, that's concerning. Because Saudi has massive reserves, but they're not infinite, as we all know. Hey, Water Tiger. So expect that, and this is not something to panic people about. Now okay, we're going to see inflationary effect multiplied because of stupid energy decisions. Yeah, farmer, absolutely. $7 a gallon. It may be coffee. It may be, and this is the good stuff. It's not good for us, obviously, but this is the kind of stuff that we can say, okay, we kind of see this coming because what's going to happen. No one else is paying attention. The preppers are the conspiracy theorists, which I think we're all in the same freaking little club now. What's funny, the granola moms who are all organic and I don't take medicines, now they're conspiracy theorists too. We used to call them like liberals 5-6 years ago, and now we're all in the same little camp and we're all outcasts, which I find kind of funny. Hey, Moonsprout. But if you know that the government is taking steps to reduce production, and if you know that the money to invest in the infrastructure to get solar and wind power to the grid is still not sufficient, despite what they're saying, we're going to have energy inflation, and that's just going to fall into everything else. So now's a great time to start saying, okay, where are my gaps? Do I need a little more rice? Do I need some more batteries? Should I get the new tires for the car now? I'm in a different family situation. But if you can take that time to just evaluate, hey, and keep in mind, we're August now. So August, September, Q3 ends in September. Also, the fiscal year for a lot of companies ends in September. Hey, sweet, thank you. Thanks for joining us. You start seeing that inflationary effect. But if okay, we're getting to the end of the fiscal years for a lot of these companies, because it's normally September to September, so that in January they can make their annual report. So keep that in mind. And they're cutting back on energy leases, but they're not supplementing them. They're not saying we're protecting Alaska, but we're going to open some more in like New Mexico. They're not. They're squishing both. You're going to get that energy inflation. So this is a great time to start planning, okay, what do I need to do? And you don't have to be in a panic because, again, it's a quarterly cycle. So you got some wiggle room where you can say, hey, you know what? I'm going to go through my inventory and, you're going to make a left when there's no turning lane. Awesome. Okay, so I get to stand behind Knucklehead over here. Do I need to get more rice? Do I need some batteries? Do I buy that generator? Whatever it is you think you need. And again, everyone's situation is different. But do it on a budget, right? You have the time to do it, so you can take that time to kind of sit there and go, hey, you know what? I want the generator, but it's $500. I don't have $500. So can I split it out into payment plans? Can I Can I buy this bulk rice and split it with my friend? At Chase Bank. So Chase Bank just sent out a new notification. So did Bank of America and Wells Fargo. And I saw this with Economic Ninja. I don't want to plagiarize. I want to give credit because he's the one who pointed it out. On the inflation subject, the banks are saying to people, oh, we need to review your accounts, right? I'm sure some of you may have gotten this notification. And what they're doing, they're saying, oh, well, if you change to this type of checking or this type of savings, we'll give you, instead of a 2%, whatever bullshit they give us now, we'll give you 8%. But here's the catch. When they do that, in some cases, they're changing the type of account you have to where it's no longer FDIC insured. Now, the Fed has told the banks you must now keep 2% extra cash on hand because they have to pay into that FDIC insurance. And the banks started freaking out, the big ones. The reason is they were overextended and they got too heavy in bonds, and bonds don't do well in an inflationary environment. But what they're doing, they're trying to convince people, well, Joe, it can affect you indirectly because it can, if they try to change the way your bank account's set up, you wind up in a situation where you may no longer be insured by the feds, like a normal savings or checking account. And then if the bank closes their doors, they don't owe you shit. So if you get a notice from your bank, regardless of the bank, saying, oh, we want to review your accounts, read carefully and make sure anything they change your accounts to is FDIC insured, or else you're off the hook. You're on your own. And that's going to add to inflation, right? Because it's all funny money. So just knowing that these things are coming allows you to make decisions that are more rationally thought. You can budget it out and not worried like, holy cow, that caught me off guard, right? A lot of prepping, honestly, in my opinion, a lot of preparedness is simply trying to understand what's happening and then adjust accordingly so you don't get caught flat, right? Now, obviously, you have a terrorist attack. Who the hell knew that was coming, right? Although you may wonder if someone knew it was coming and wanted it to happen, but that's a whole different conversation. But knowing that we may have some serious energy inflations, knowing's a good thing. The inflation sucks, right? Nobody likes that. But knowing is good because it allows you to course correct. It allows you to adjust and say, you know what? I'm going to take the time to put some money aside. I'm going to take the time to fix up the house now while I can get product. Whatever it is you think you got to do, talk to the doctor and get meds for mom or dad or grandma or my child now. Get the 90-day so you can, got one on my 318, been problematic. Got to run it every single day. Chicken, Joe Morgan, AK. But yeah, you guys kind of understand what I'm saying. And again, you guys, any of you who follow me regularly, I try not, unless it's some kind of really weird situation, like, oh, there's a terror attack, I'm always going to say, hey, look, here's an action plan, right? You don't have to click links, clink. I don't know, we could just say it. You can click links or anything. This is stuff you can do at the damn grocery store. You can do in the house. Again, you buy the big rice. There are two of us. I buy the 20-pound bag of rice. I have a thing on the counter. You guys have seen it in my kitchen videos. Half the rice goes in there. The rest goes in my order. Done. If I forget to go grocery shopping and shit, I need rice, I go to the garage, I go to the storage and I take out a bag and open it up and pour it in the other thing and I'm done. So you can course correct now, but two things to keep in mind is, one, if they're cutting leases, if they're cutting back on energy in the oil and gas side, but they're not adding infrastructure to the solar and wind to get that power to the grid, we're going to get energy inflation. It may be your electric bill, it may be your gasoline. It's going to land somewhere. We're already inflationary, we all know that. And two, if your banks are trying to redefine certain types of checking and savings accounts, read the fine print. Make sure you are FDIC insured and it's written. Otherwise, they're going to mess with you. It leaves you unprotected. You can't make claims. You lose your legal holding, because if they redefine your checking account as an investment tool, which is what happened in China. Remember last year in China, all the people went and rioted at the banks, and they had to send the soldiers out to shush everyone off. They beat everyone is what they did. That's going to be a problem. That's a risk that can really hurt people. At Jim, wait, hold on, Jim's the bird to the banks. I think they would frown. It's like a good time for lightning to strike. I'm telling you. So just be smart, folks. Plan yourself out. You know your budget. You know your situation. You know what you need and don't need. It never hurts to try new products from time to time to see if it's something you can add or subtract. But don't break the bank. And whatever you do, please, for the love of God, do not listen to people who say run up your credit cards. Don't. Credit cards are adjustable rate to a point, but as the interest rates change, your minimum will grow. And there's a limit to how much it can grow, but it will still hurt you. Pay down anything you can. If you can't be debt-free, at least push the debt as far away and down and small as you can, so it's a small target. Okay, because if you're try to pay off, exactly, farmer, pay off all your debt as much as you can. The less debt risk you have, the better off you're. It also helps your credit score, because keep in mind, whenever there's a dip, eventually it turns around, it goes the other way. So if you have cash and you can make it through. So during Rona, my wife worked for a company, I won't name the company, it was a family-owned affiliate of a manufacturer in Ireland, actually. But there was an American family ran the primary company here. And he was always cash heavy. He had great credit for the company and for himself, but the company was always cash heavy. When I say cash heavy, this was a 50-person company that had about a quarter, 200, no, was it 200? Sorry, my bad. 25 million in cash in the bank. For a small company, that's huge. And they did a lot of work, right? They did a lot of revenue. When COVID hit, they survived it. Their competitor went under because the competitor was leveraged, had a lot of loans, couldn't make the loan payments, the bank took him over. He had very few loans. When the loans came in, he could pay the payments. He stretched them out, and when they got small enough, he killed the last few loans he had on the business. And he was cash heavy. He could keep people salaried. He had to furlough a few folks, put them on vacation or part-time. But he said everyone stayed on medical. Everyone got some kind of paycheck. This is what the companies are doing. They're getting more cash. They're trying to reduce their debt, reduce their loans. We should be doing the same thing. It's a smart play now. Plus, if you have the cash, right, the car market's eventually going to crash. The real estate's going to pop. It'll all happen one after the other. When it turns around and starts sliding back up, you can say, you know what? I'm going to pick up. Now I'm going to buy the car I need, or now I'm going to go back to school and pay that tuition, or whatever the case is. It puts you in a position where when the prices are low, you have a little cash, you're in a favorable position to do those things you were holding off on. Joe, what the hell? Behave. Jeez. I'm going to have to make Water Tiger a mod to mute you, man. Joe, you got to keep it like PG-13. It's just mischief. See, and what's scary, Joe and I would have gotten along really well, because I was that kid in the science lab that was really smart, who'd be like, hey, Joe, you want to watch me make a smoke bomb in chemistry lab? And he'd be like, hell yeah. And then next thing you know, we're both in the principal's office, because I had a bright idea. He encouraged me, and now nobody can use the chem lab for 2 days. Not that that's ever happened with me and my friends, but just, by the way, then when you go to chemistry lab, always do the experiments under the vent hood. Tell your kids that. Buffett is going to cash. That should tell you something about the stock market. Yeah, farmer, absolutely. Never have the money now. No, yeah, and again, everyone's situation's different, and I get that. So you guys just have to react the best you can. I spent more time in the principal's office than in class. I believe that. Um, yeah, I was good at getting my friends and I out of trouble too. Um, Sometimes I failed though, but same as I. But yeah, folks, this is a good time. Don't run up those credit cards. Don't extend. Be smart, right? Watch what the companies are doing. Like somebody just was it Jim who said, no, farmer, Buffett is going to cash. I can relate to that. You will succeed. I built a water cannon in chem lab. Teacher insisted on unplugging it. You got a 3-minute shower from 50 feet. Nice. That teacher did not understand your assignment. But we still wind up in the principal's office for that. We actually were testing in college. We had these making aircraft, small ones. And my professor was from Tokyo. Got to plan what kind of meals you're going to do in the principal's office before you get there. I'm telling you the truth. So we're all undergrads, and he's like, okay, everyone design your aircrafts, right? So we designed all these, we're using foam and balsa wood. We came up with these really oddball designs. It's like, okay, we're going to test it. So we're thinking we're going to go out to the campus, like in the field. No, we go to the library, which was like a big square with an open area in the middle. We go up on the 4th floor. It was about a football field across this thing. It looked like the Harry Potter library. And we start chucking these freaking airplanes. So some of us pre-gamed before we showed up, and he could tell. He's like, oh, you boys, you hit the sake, right? He spoke perfect English. He liked to upgrade his accent, but he had no accent when he didn't want it. You guys hitting the sake, and you didn't invite me? And we're like, no, we're gonna... And dude, we sent the hipsters running. My freaking airfoil, I got halfway across the library and my tail failed, and then the plane spun, but it was a big wingspan. It was about 5-foot wingspan, and that thing went and all the hipster kids heard the snap of the wing. These kids looked up, saw my damn airplane tumbling at them. I was drunk as shit, so I thought it was awesome, and it went crashing into the library, and I got ejected from the library, as did the professor and 3 other people, because the other guys thought it was awesome, so everyone started throwing these damn airplanes. Again, not little airplanes. These were like 4 or 5-foot wingspan shits. Apparently, we were not supposed to do that without clearing the 1st floor, but you know, hey. See, that's where engineering and alcohol shouldn't mix, you know. I thought it was great, but clearly I made a mistake. Coffee first, you imp. Hold on, live chat. Why does this damn thing keep changing? Epoxy is good for something else. Oh, God. Glue the teacher's coffee cup to their desk. Oh, yeah, you get like a E2000 or just plain old super glue. Tackle a porta potty and top it over with my school bully in it. Actually, if it was your school bully, he deserved that. Screw him. It is, Jay, the universal solvent. Clearly not the implement to create stable airframes, but definitely made it fun. And I got a B+ because it made it halfway before it failed. One kid threw his damn airplane and went straight down, and we're all like, dude, did you not test it in the grass before we came here? Anyway, yeah, that's what happens when you have young people with booze and equipment. It's just, never goes. You take young people in a farm and give them a keg of beer and leave a tractor or some other tool lying around, and I promise you, mischief every time. It doesn't matter if they're in a college or in mowing the back 40. Somebody's going to get in trouble. My son was notorious for that. I wonder where he got that from. But I'm sure we've done all worse things after drinking. Oh yeah, no, there are other things I've done. That was just the most creative thing we've done. We wanted to go up on the high rise on the campus and throw it off there, but yeah, the security was like, get the fuck down. That's just no. All of you, the professor, everyone run off. Alcohol made me join the Navy at 17, not by choice. Right, and then you go to the Navy, and then you get poor call in like Bangkok or freaking somewhere in Japan like Tokyo, and that's soju's the devil. If you were in the Navy, you know what soju is. That's the devil. That'll make you die. Your spirit will have colors after that shit. But anyway, hey, Mad Shad, yeah, Mad's working today. Bunsen burner with skunk rock. Oh, Nostra, that's ingenious, dude. All right, that's pretty cool. Now, damn, I would not have thought of that. That was pretty cool, dude. But in any case, so folks, look, going back, I'm gonna have to run to a meeting. I'm sure I missed something here. Everyone canceled the meetings this week because it's a short week. So I've been like texting people, hey, you want to go grab a beer? You want to do lunch? They're like, oh, we're all out of town. We took the week off. I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to go fart around then. Anyway, guys, this is a great, Nostra for the win. Damn. Remember, if it's going to be inflationary in the fourth quarter, we know the car market is overinflated, right? Cars are stupid right now. Interest rates are up. We've got food inflation. And they're going to mess with energy. It's piling on, so you're going to get that same waterfall effect on the other side. Reduce your debt risk. Stock what you can. Collaborate with other folks. Trade ideas. Be smart. Right? There's no reason a street person burst into flames. Ooh. As long as they don't explode, they just burn. If they explode, that gets ugly. Now's the time to do smart things and be ready for when it gets out of hand. If it gets out of hand. And remember, it's not going to be the same everywhere in the country, right? What I see in West Texas will be different from Houston, even though we're in the same state. It'll be way different than California. If you're up in Idaho or you're in Lubbock, Texas, and Lubbock's a fun town. That's a place you can stay drunk for a while. Good Lord. Anyway, the college, wherever you happen to be, it's going to have a different situation occur. It's not going to be symmetric across the board. So be smart. Understand your area. Understand what is likely to happen. And it's really going to help inform your decisions, right? Because everyone's situation is different. So, folks, keep collaborating. Keep talking to each other. Part of the reason I do some of these chats is so you guys can trade notes, right? Because you guys see things I don't. And be careful out there. And keep out of trouble if you can. Joe, in particular. Joe's always in trouble. Just don't get caught. How about that? But anyway, guys, be good. Be safe out there. And I'm going to go and annoy my boss because he did not approve my expense report. And I'm going to get yelled at by the accounting girl. So I'm going to go yell at him. I'll see you guys later. Be safe.